Gillette put out an ad. Okay, this is a really, really stupid ad. This ad is all about how men have created a crisis of masculinity in America, that men have trained their boys to be bad, that men are somehow responsible for all of the ills in American society. Here's a little bit of Gillette, which makes its money off of men shaving, which, by the way, shaving is a gender construct. Okay, shaving that's something that society has placed on you. So if we really want to get rid of the gender construct, we should put Gillette out of business. Nobody should shave. Men, women, nobody. Just let your natural body hair grow free, Gillette. Why can't you get over your own gender biases, Gillette? In any case, Gillette runs a commercial all about toxic masculinity in order to virtue signal to the social justice warrior crowd.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Toxic masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get?
Shows boys running and screaming and texting freak at people.
We can't hide from it.
And a woman hugging a boy who's been bullied.
It's been going on far too long.
And then we see men on TV sexually harassing women and boys watching.
Who's the daddy? What I actually think she's trying to say.
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
Okay, can we pause it there for a second? So the idea here is that all men are sitting by saying boys will be boys when boys do bad things. And there are a bunch of images here that just make no sense. Have you ever been at a party where one boy is beating the living hell out of another boy and they're like 7, and all the fathers are standing around by the barbecues going, boys will be boys? And there's certain areas in which boys are boys. They are rambunctious. They are aggressive. They tend to fight each other more. All of that's true. But I have never remotely seen a situation where two boys are beating the crap out of each other, and the fathers are just standing around going, boys will be boys. You know how fast the dad steps in and stops that stuff? Like, immediately. And then I love this little scene that they've got of a man in an office building putting his hand on a woman's shoulder and saying, what I think she means is, because that's totally equivalent to sexual harassment. Maybe she didn't say something, maybe she said something dumb. I mean, we didn't see the rest of that conversation. So the assumption is that men are constantly telling women to pipe down because they have to mansplain. But a lot of cases of quote-unquote mansplaining, I mean, frankly, not to play into sexist stereotypes, but if we were going to talk about mansplaining, I've been in many, many more scenarios at a dinner party where the woman is womansplaining what the man just said. Okay, this happens all the time, because men are dunderheads and men say dumb stuff. And then their wives have to step in and say, well, Bob, I think what you really meant to say was, because when people say things that are dumb, other people want to explain away the things they said that are dumb. But anytime a man says this to a woman now, it must be that it's immediately sexist. And then you've got a bunch of men standing by the barbecues saying boys will be boys, because that's what men have been doing for generations, is just shying, pretending that toxic masculinity and toxicity is no problem. It's been too much male presence that has destroyed America. That's really the message of this Gillette commercial, and it continues along these lines. And then we get clips of Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks. Come on.
And there will be no going back. Because we believe in the best in men.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
Smile, sweetie.
Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Bro, not cool.
I think that's my favorite part of the commercial, is a good-looking girl walks down the street and a guy goes, oh ho. And another guy goes, hey, dude, not cool. You cannot find that girl attractive. Very bad. I mean, if you walk up to her and you ask her for her phone number, immediately you are a part of rape culture now. It's this commercial, which lumps in masculinity with toxic masculinity, as though it's been fathers inculcating toxic masculinity, is sheer nonsense. You want to know what has created serious problems in American society? It's a lack of men, not overpresence of men. It's been dearth of men that has created massive problems in American society. Today, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, some 23% of American children live with a single mother. That percentage has tripled since 1960. As of 2012, 55% of black kids and 31% of Hispanic kids live with one parent, predominantly the mother. And are they getting a male presence at school? No. It turns out 76% of teachers are female. 80% of social workers are female. At the same time, toxic masculinity has risen. So maybe it's that in the absence of a strong male presence providing guidance to young men, what you end up with is toxic masculinity. Because it turns out that if you're getting your male influence from other teenagers are stupid and more aggressive, and they make worse decisions. So it's not that there have been too many fathers inculcating bad ideas in their kids. It's that there have been too few fathers around to teach their sons responsibility and decency. That's the major problem in American society, not too much masculinity. This is why it's so ugly when folks on the left merge masculinity and toxic masculinity, when they suggest that, it's really the presence of fathers, and fathers have to rethink what masculinity means. No, maybe what you need is more fathers who thought along the lines of traditional masculinity, being a gentleman, taking responsibility, providing, containing your emotions to the extent that they don't take control of you. It's really, really dumb. Okay, again, the fact is that it is dearth of men that has created the massive problem. 70% of inmates grew up in a one-parent home as of 1987. The Center for Children and Families found that 70% of gang members, high school dropouts, teen suicides, teen pregnancies, and teen substance abusers come from single mother homes. So maybe the best a man can get is a father. Maybe the best a man can get is being a dad and a husband. Maybe the best a man can get is not lack of masculinity, it's more masculinity. Because traditionally, masculinity is what stands between innocent people and the wolves.